Welcome to Back Your Blue on Extra 106.3. My name is Doug Coward, along with Daniel Madelon of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring. Got a great show in store for you with the folks from the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office and the Mental Health Task Force. Talk about that in just a moment. First, going to check in with Daniel Madelon, who looks like he's booking a flight out of here or something. What are you doing over there,
Sorry.
man?
It was like a time-sensitive thing.
Oh, I got it. I'm telling you, dude never quits working.
95% of it I leave till we're not doing this, but
I'm telling you.
there's like someone in transit somewhere. So
oh, my goodness. So business. I mean, this is work. That's not, there's not even family taking care of, daughter getting to horse lessons or equestrian rides or any of that. This is real deal business.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. And we have special guest Lieutenant Nichole Culberson and Lieutenant Hare, who's been with us a dozen times. You're like an old pro at this by now.
Yeah, I know. We got to put me on the payroll.
That's right. I'm telling you, LT.
Well, when you find that payroll, you let me know.
I'm telling you. We'll go through the bio because everybody knows Lieutenant Hare, but for Lieutenant Culberson, 31 years in law enforcement, joined the Mental Health Task Force in 2024. Prior to that, several assignments, including Court Operations Division and Jail Division, Masters in Education, and various certifications in mental health and crisis intervention, which these days seems to be quite a value because there's a lot of people that are finally saying it's okay to not be okay.
Right, exactly. There's a lot going on, and it is okay to not be okay, and that's what we're trying to get out there, and that's what we're trying to show people.
What was it that drawed you in or drew you to this work?
Being in 31 years, I mean, you deal with mental health. I've been dealing with them from the time we came in, and I know Lieutenant Hare has too.
Sure.
But it just wasn't recognized as much, and unfortunately now the jails are your mental health facilities, so
just by default.
Just by default, right, because there's no hospitals to take them to anymore, nowhere for them to go, unfortunately, so they end up going into crisis and coming to the jail, and just knowing that I could possibly be a part of preventing that or being out there and actually helping. I mean, because, back in the day, that's why we all got into law enforcement, because we wanted to be out there and save people and help and do all that. But I actually see it now. So it's been amazing being in this unit and just knowing that we have made those connections and have been able to help a lot of those people.
No, it's impressive. With what y'all do at the Mental Health Task Force there at Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, is it just for employees, just for officers, or do you deal with public as well? Is it public facing?
We are all public. We have two separate entities as far as mental health. You have the mental health staff that's actually in the jail that works with all of those who are put on any kind of mental health status, whether that be simply depression, suicidal, schizophrenic, just a variety of things. So you have the mental health staff that works with them in the back, and then once they are released, that's when our team comes into play. We are post-incarceration, so we get emails daily that individuals have been released, and if they're in Gwinnett County, we're going to go knock on their door.
Interesting. Okay, because I thought.
So even once they post bond, or if they sign their own bond, or if they're released, however, you guys, if they're tagged or labeled or whatever,
correct,
then you guys know, and then you guys go see them. Actually.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we do. I
did not know that.
We knock on doors and we try to start that relationship. Post-incarceration is our biggest number of people. That's where we get a lot of our patients from. Our groupings from is post-incarceration. And we just try to go build that relationship. We've taken them to doctor's appointments. We've taken them to get their shots. We just go, and we have so many partners within our community that want to help and that have opened their doors, and so we just try and make those connections. So
who are some of those partners?
Well, you have Good Landing Recovery. You have
Viewpoint.
Viewpoint Health is a big one. We have. I need y'all's help on this. Ridgeview and Monroe.
What you might not see in here is we have, half the office in here. Half the department came today.
Yes, sorry.
And we've got a wealth of information. We got so much experience in the room. No, don't apologize, please. I love the fact that that's what a team does, right?
Correct.
You back each other up and help one another out, and it's clear that y'all do that. Because I'll admit, when y'all first came in, I thought this was like an internal thing, like for officers.
No, sir.
Well, you got to look at it from a perspective of, we want to offer wraparound services. You know, people are at their lowest when they come in. They may be dealing with a mental health crisis when they come in. So we try to get them stabilized, get them through the system, get them back in the community. But ultimately, where the government fails sometimes is once they're released, everything is done. But that's not always the case.
Rarely the case, I would imagine.
Right. These people still need medication. They need, appointments with mental health professionals, things of that nature. And that's where we come in with the mental health task force. We just don't forget about you once you leave the facilities. We make sure that you're staying on task, so that way we can keep those recidivism numbers down and keep you out of our facilities.
Well, in the cost factor, I mean, these medical contracts are going through the roof.
They are.
In Metro Atlanta. I mean, I've looked at some of them, and some of them are $20-30 million a year.
Wow.
Just in medical, which falls into this mental health category.
Right.
I mean, because if they need the attention,
Yeah, it's got to be there because
so those budgets just keep going up. But it's not because they're doing it. I mean, they're dealing with what walks in front of them. They don't get to choose who comes through the door.
No, of course, yeah. Hey, for folks who have been incarcerated, because you talk about wraparound, is it the same folks that are dealing with them while incarcerated and on when they've been released? Is that hand in hand, or is that completely separate?
We do work together because that's who we get our information from, is the mental health team in the back. And a lot of times, if we have enough knowledge where somebody's going to be released, we work together to try and get them immediate placement so they will have somewhere to go or something like that.
Yeah, just right hand talking to left hand. Yeah, making sure everybody's on the same page.
Correct. But we do, while we work together, we still, in a sense, are two separate entities, sort of, if that makes any kind of sense. Because, in addition to those that are post-incarceration, we help anybody. We get numerous emails, we get numerous phone calls because somebody's mama's called somebody else. So it's all the way around. So we've stopped in QT parking lot and ended up talking to 2 or 3 individuals that approached our guys. And hey, I'm not sure why you're here, but I really need to talk to somebody.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we actually got this young lady in touch with a therapist, and they had a whole session on, FaceTime and, just different things like that. We're here to help anybody in Gwinnett. So it's not just limited to those post-incarceration. It's anybody and everybody that we can help.
And LT, that is just showing the relationship that y'all have built and the trust that you've built in the community, that somebody will stop you to QT and say, hey, man, I need what y'all are offering. I mean, that's relationships that don't just come overnight. That's something that's earned.
Right, and that's kind of the blueprint from when Sheriff came in, Sheriff Taylor. He wanted to be able to provide help for anybody. Okay, so part of community outreach's job is to reduce that fear of law enforcement, give people a sense of, okay, if I see someone in uniform, I can come up to them. Mental health, they're there to help provide those resources and help guide individuals that may be suffering through a crisis, to make sure that they get the necessary treatment that they need. Or again, like Lieutenant Culberson said, it may not be mental health resources. It may be a place to stay. We've helped people get their driver's license, a new license if they've lost those. We help people with health insurance. If they need to get health insurance, once they're released, we can set them up with that as well. So again, everything kind of goes hand in hand. It's like a puzzle piece. You can't get to the bigger picture without this piece or that piece.
All the pieces are important to building that picture, like you said. What about age ranges? Because I would imagine, people are adults or one thing, but dealing with younger kids, and look, we've seen mental health crises in young kids. It's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching. It's sad anytime, but when you see kids in a really tough situation, that's when, that's when it really pulls at your heartstrings. How do you balance that? I mean, is there something specific for kids that's different than adults? How do y'all attack that?
There are different facilities and different agencies that help the different ages. Mm-hmm. We don't deal a whole lot with the juveniles.
I'm surprised by that, to be honest.
you know, we have worked in connection with the school police and that sort of thing, dealing with specific juveniles. But on a day-to-day basis, we deal with predominantly adults.
Okay.
But we won't turn a child away. Of course, you know, we'll help any way we can. But we do deal predominantly with the adult.
Okay.
And they're in top 5 size in Metro Atlanta as far as jail pop goes. So they
Yeah.
there's
Y'all
plenty
are
of
busy.
opportunity.
I was going to say, we stay busy
They stay busy,
all the time. Yes, sir.
Well, see, that's where I want to go next then as we round out this particular segment, talking to Lieutenant Culberson and Lieutenant Hare from the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, the Mental Health Task Force, is how do you keep yourself taken care of? You know what I mean? When you're dealing with crisis after crisis, and it sounds like it happens with some sort of regularity, if not daily, how do you take care of yourself? And I know that's an important thing too. And it's probably not exactly what y'all focus on necessarily, but I know it's important. And we've talked about how important that is in past episodes when Sheriff Taylor was even in. We'll talk about that next on Back Your Blue here on Extra 106.3 with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office Mental Task Force and Daniel Madelon of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring. My name is Tug Cowart. This is Back Your Blue on Extra 106.3. Welcome back to Back Your Blue on Extra 106.3 with the fine folks at the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office Mental Task Force. Lieutenant Hare and Lieutenant Culberson joins us, along with Daniel Madelon of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring, the reason the show happens. And certainly grateful to you, man, for making it happen. And I know you got a great relationship with Gwinnett County, and especially Sheriff Taylor, who's just off the charts guy.
Oh yeah, he's
one of a kind.
He's one of a kind. He's definitely, and I've watched all. I mean, I was good with the sheriff's department prior to that, but we came in to Gwinnett right when Sheriff Taylor was becoming sheriff, and it's been great. I mean, the programs and the stuff that we liked that touch the core values of A Second Chance, there's a lot of opportunity in Gwinnett County.
Overlap.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to the backpack drive or the Thanksgiving giveaway.
No, I've only heard about it since we've been talking about it here.
I go every year. It's a 10. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. So that goes back to the community engagement, which leads to this mental health stuff. It all ties together, and they do a phenomenal job. Gwinnett's great. I have no complaints out of Gwinnett County.
How's it working for Sheriff Taylor?
Everything's going good.
Yeah.
Everything's going good.
He's such an awesome dude, and he lights up the room, and he's got such a huge personality, and he's so much fun to be around, and always laughing and always jovial. Never a loss for words. I mean, he's always got something, you know what I mean? He's always ready to go. He's sitting on go all the time.
Yep.
So I would imagine working for him has to be a lot of fun, too.
It is.
He knows how to keep it lighthearted.
He does. He jokes a lot, and then also he challenges us. You know, he says, this is what I envision, and he challenges us to make
it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah, no, I love it, especially with the backpack drive, because this is the biggest in the city, right?
In the state.
I
have, and I do a lot of them. I mean, we participate in a lot of, from back to school through the holidays. We do a ton of
this
stuff.
One's special.
Oh, if I don't get there early, I would almost need to call like an escort to get into the thing, because the traffic is so insane getting into the fairgrounds. Like you can't get in. I mean, I come in like normally the back way, because it like literally that many people come out, and I mean it's just thousands of people. Dude,
no, I love it.
On flow for hours. Yeah, I mean it just doesn't end.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. I've never seen anything like it at a sheriff's department here in Atlanta.
But back to building those relationships. Right? I mean, that's where it all begins with a department, and sometimes the things y'all have to do are not the most pleasant. Sometimes they're wonderful, like the backpack drive. But if you're doing the stuff that's pleasant, like the backpack drive, when you get down and have to make tough decisions and have to do tough work, the folks that are involved know where your heart is and know that you're doing the right thing for the community, even if it is tough. I think it's that earned trust, that earned respect.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think so. And especially being still fairly new to the position, just being out there, and we have a huge event as well. The Mental Health Task Force does every year. It's coming up here pretty soon. But being out there and meeting all of them, and they'll come from the backpack drive and from the turkey giveaway, and they'll remember, oh my gosh, I remember. And, so it when we do come to their house and we show up and we're like, hey, we're just here to check on you. And they're like, you actually came to check on me? And it's like, yes, you know, and then it just builds on one on top of the other.
You're not coming
and it
to
just
arrest me, you're coming to check on me?
Yes.
That's normally what it is.
thing.
Well, but that again, back to earning that trust,
Yes.
earning that respect that y'all have worked so hard to develop the relationships. And since its inception, the mental health task force has assisted in 1,000+ calls and 471 just last year, assisting citizens in crisis, dedicated to serving the community and working relentlessly to reduce the stigma attached to those suffering from mental illness. And I know the work y'all do, and I know what Sheriff Taylor expects of you, and I know you live up to it. But how do you take care of yourself? Because if you're always dealing with someone in crisis, it just seems like wear and tear on your own mental health would be. It's imperative to make sure that you're okay. How can you help someone be okay if you're not okay?
That's right. I think for me, it's just having a good support network. You know, having friends outside of law enforcement, having hobbies. You know, I need to hit the gym, but
So do I.
You know, getting to the gym, you know, relieving some of that stress. And then if you are, you know, experiencing some type of, you know, mental trauma or, you know, depression or whatever the case may be, knowing where to get those services for help, knowing where to go to have someone to talk to make sure that you're okay. Because, again, the job in itself is stressful.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that wears on you as a person, and it wears on your family and, you know, your loved ones. So
I just think at any time, you know, at work, something doesn't go well, you get a hateful email or, you know, phone call, client's mad, you know, whatever, just in a regular position, not like the position that y'all hold. And that's tough enough. But when it's, you know, when it's your job to manage that, that's when it becomes overwhelming, as you were describing, Lieutenant Hare. Lieutenant Culberson, what about you? What do you do to help yourself because, you know, being
like y'all said, we normally don't meet these people when they're at their best. We meet them at their worst.
Exactly.
You know?
They're not dealing with it. What about when they're in custody? Because I've done like interviews, for instance, where people have been going through a mental health crisis.
While in custody.
Yes. And I'm doing an interview in the attorney booth and they're, you know, losing it, right? But they want to get out and, you know, whatever. But there's a lot going on. Are you guys involved in that process at all, like inside the jail? Or who handles that?
The mental health team in the back is the one that normally deals with those. But some of those people, you know, as soon as they walk out that door and those meds stop, they
convert to you.
Correct. You know, and we go see them in 48, 72 hours, you know, sometimes maybe even a week later, they're right there again. We're not always, you know, we don't see people at their best. But I too am a gym kind of gal. And we talk to each other all the time.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's
That's what
funny
a good team does.
Right, and you know, it's funny because one of our guys gets picked on because, you know, on the weekends he may be in bed at 6 o'clock, and they're like, "Are you depressed? Are you sad?
No, I'm sleepy."
And that's what he said. He's like, "No, I'm just tired, and I've been peopling all week, and I just don't want to people today." You know, right? Exactly. So
I get it.
You just
I talk for a living, and people will see me on the weekend, and they're like, "You're being awful quiet," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm tired of talking."
I've been talking.
I'm done talking.
Week, yeah.
Unless you want to talk about football, I'll give you 5 minutes. And then I would like to be in bed by 6 o'clock too.
Right.
If I can.
So, you know, we just look out for one another. And we do have 2 licensed clinicians on our team, Major Maldonado, who unfortunately couldn't make it today.
Sure.
She is a licensed clinician, as so is Dr. Tatum. And there are the 2 heads of our team. So they do a lot of talking to a lot of our deputies, you know, when things are as such. You know, they open their doors readily for anybody in the sheriff's office to come talk to. And we also have, it's not a very big SISM team. We have like 3 of us, I think, that are left. But we do have a SISM team. We do have peer-to-peer.
Well, what's that?
Well, yeah, what's a SISM?
But I gotta say, you're talking code over there.
Well, SISM is Crisis Intervention Management. Critical Incident Stress Management. Sorry, yes.
There you go.
That's why I have backup.
That's why you got a good team around
here. Right.
I get it.
And he is definitely one of our top ones. But it's just when you go through things that maybe the general public might not understand, you don't necessarily want to go talk to somebody in the general public. You would rather talk
100%.
to somebody who's been boots on the ground or who's been there.
Experienced something similar to what you've experienced.
Yeah, yes,
relatable.
And I think that's where I was going with the thing is the department for y'all, because y'all, I care about y'all as much as I care about the folks that you're helping. Is the department, do they do a good job? And I'm sure they do, but how do they do a good job with making sure that y'all are okay in on those tough days?
Well, we have our EAP program as well.
Is that the vibe room thing?
No. So EAP is a employee assistance program.
Oh, shoot. I was ready to go hang out in the vibe room. It felt like...
No, we're working on that, though.
That's what,
we are working on that.
Sheriff Taylor was talking about that last time he was here.
Yes, yeah, we're working on that.
I don't even need to go, but I'd like to.
Yeah. So the EAP and the county just actually came out with a new program where they're actually funding lifestyle, I guess, self-care.
Okay.
So they're giving a certain amount of money. I can't call the specific dollar amount, but it's like $1,500.
Oh, wow. All
that
right.
they're giving all county employees to be able to either go to the gym, spa treatments.
Right, eating healthy.
Yeah, eating healthy.
Go to the grocery
Pretty
deal.
much, yeah. There's a whole list of things that this money can be used for, and it's free for us to use, so
that's terrific.
It is terrific. It gives us another ability or another tool in our belt to be able to say, okay, yeah, let me go take care of myself. Let me go take care of my family, especially if you've had a difficult week or month or whatever the case.
And you guys have your hands full. I mean, I read
question.
the warrants for the last 19 years.
Yeah.
I know what's
I know
what's going on.
Right.
And it's a lot.
Yeah, it's never
It's
ending.
not even believable.
Yeah, it sure is. So for the county to even think about us in that aspect of saying, okay, let's take a little bit of a financial burden off of our employees and we'll take on that and give them X amount of dollars for self-care.
Because you're still working when you're not. I mean, I know no one's like actually clocked, but you still get calls.
There's no
The
life
phone's
still happens. The
always
department
going.
never shuts down.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
we all have these county cell phones that
That's what
are
I'm saying.
literally
So, yeah.
attached to our hips and they ring 24/7.
24/7. Yeah.
That's what Lieutenant Culberson was about to say. It just never stops ringing.
It just never stops. I mean, just first thing when we came in this morning, we were discussing a call that they had gotten at 12:30 in the morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Friday. So, I mean, it just, there's always...
And how does that... Because I know what y'all are all about, and I know it doesn't matter when the call comes in, but that's during probably time off, I would imagine.
I was going to say, that's during personal time.
That's what I'm saying.
But I would say 97% of the time, if we realize it's ringing, it's going to be answered.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you're...
That's how y'all are, and that's
Right.
that's why we love them. But finish, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you off.
you're fine. I mean, unless it's like truly the phone's on silent and you don't realize it, or unless you're, in the middle of church or just something that's
Sure.
very specific,
Yes, ma'am.
the phone's going to get answered.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best to talk our way through it, or get them help however we can.
Whatever it takes. Talk about the training that the officers receive, because, I mean, I think I would recognize somebody in a mental breakdown. It seems very, but I bet there's times where you might not be able to tell. That people behave differently. I mean, sometimes people are acting crazy and screaming and hollering. That's obvious, right?
Right.
But the ones that don't do that, and being able to recognize that, it comes through training, I would imagine, right?
It does. And I mean, and it's still very challenging,
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm even seeing it all the years that you see it. Now, to be part of the team, we do have to go through an 80-hour course, that goes over all the mental health diagnoses, all the symptoms that go with those diagnoses, the medication. So if we're in a house and we happen to see a medication, we know, this may be what this person is suffering from. We go through the crisis intervention training. It's just all of those things to try and recognize, and we still don't get it 100% right. I don't know that we ever will.
Well, no one's, there's only one perfect.
And they
That's
utilize it. I want to flip to the other side of this, and this is the evil side of the mental health, right? Which is people utilizing it to not go into custody, right? So we have... I have probably 100,000 fugitives I'm looking for right now, right? Collectively. And so many times we've gone to the jail with people where you bring them in and they're pregnant or their mental health episode. There's a million things that could go wrong, right? And sometimes they do use that as a way to avoid going into custody. How do you separate? I mean, that I would never want to be responsible for that because I mean, I know how often it happens. And how do you know? That's
right.
Because I mean, I've been turned. I mean, people have been turned down for right reasons, right? Because I mean, you guys have to identify: is this person? Can we even have this person in our facility right now? And if we do, now it's on us medically. You know, from the medical side. So like, and sometimes I hate to say it, but they're lying. I mean.
Oh, there's
a lot
of times.
I love that response.
I can say it. I don't work for Gwinnett County,
I know.
and I've dealt with the nonsense, but like
a response.
And you want to believe everybody at first, of course.
Of course,
but,
yeah,
I mean, and we do, but like,
but from your point of view, because I would have never known to even ask that question, and that's the value of you being here and being in that position, having seen that
because
play
it's
out.
a big talking point across Georgia, but it happens in Gwinnett County because Gwinnett County is one of the major markets of the state of Georgia.
It's one of the biggest counties.
So I'm like, okay, so what do we do next time? Because like I don't want to, here I am trying to tell the person, well, these are your options, but then they're telling the jail that they've got all this stuff going on that we know, indeed,
which
in
is
fact is not true. But whatever, we're not the jury, the judge, or anything.
No, sure.
So
but how do you handle it?
How do I handle it? Because now I'm stuck with this person that we can't get back into custody. They failed to appear. Now there's a $50,000 financial problem tied to this whole thing. So it snowballs.
Boy, that spiraled out of control quick.
Spiraled out of control quick, right? But it all stems back to this because they know they can use this as a pathway.
So what do you do? How do you address that? I can only imagine.
Have you encountered it? I guess that's the first question. Where someone's, where someone.
Well, we're not going out to arrest.
Right.
So, but when we do go out and we encounter, a lot of them we're familiar with, unfortunately, because they have been in and out of the system, or because we've encountered them in the parking lot of the QT or whatever. So a lot of times you do know who's who. But there are so many that think they're going to get something different if they act that way, or if they say they have this or say they have that. They come in the back door all the time and say all kind of crazy stuff because they want their own separate room.
Right.
They don't want to be housed with other people.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And then we go and knock on the door and they're like, I just said that because I wanted a room to myself. Or,
goodness.
Well, they know because they've either been, like you said, they've been through it before, or they know somebody who has, or.
Correct. But to go out on a call or to go out on a scene, because we do work hand in hand with the other local agencies. A lot of times they may pull up on somebody that's familiar with us that we've dealt with in the past, and they'll be like, hey, can you come out here with us, because they seem to know who y'all are, and maybe we can do this a little more smoothly.
Okay.
But you just kind of have to.
You just got to play the hand you dealt.
Correct.
Their job is hard, man. It's a hard job.
It. I admire it. I have nothing but respect for it. I don't envy it. I know it's challenging, and that's the thing that I think most people recognize is that you're just doing your best. That is all you can do is your very best. And I tell my own kid all the time, I was like, man, once you've done your best, as long as you feel confident you've done your best, you're good. And I believe that about all of y'all, every one of you. I know you just being around you, like Lieutenant Hare, that I've been around so much. I know what he's all about, and I know how much he cares, and I know that is all the way through Gwinnett County with the leadership of Sheriff Taylor and what y'all do. So I know you're trying your best, and I know things are you're not always given the benefit of the doubt, and that drives me up the wall. That's probably the most disappointing when y'all don't get the benefit of the doubt. And I hope it happens less now than it ever has before, but I know it does happen. In a different direction, working with the community and knowing what resources are out there, tell me about the 4th annual Breaking the Stigma Awareness Fair. Can y'all tell me about that one?
Oh, most definitely. We're super excited to be able to host it again. This is our 4th year. It is coming up May 10th at Alexander Park. It will be from 10 to 2.
See, Daniel here making notes because he's going to have to be out there.
Yes,
you got to get out there.
But it's open to the public. It's open to everyone. We will have over 25 different vendors out there. We have bouncy houses. We have free food, a DJ.
I've been thrown out of one of those before.
Oh, okay. All right.
I should have been thrown out. Bouncing the kids. They're like, who's this big hillbilly in there? Get him out of there. I kid. No, but those are always so much fun.
But it's a great time. We always have a good time out there, and we would love to have anybody and everybody. Like I said, most of our partners, it's over 25. They're ready to be out there and just give all the information out to.
What is the information, though? The bouncy houses are great, for the kids, and I bet there's plenty to eat and drink and all that, and it's a big festival and a lot of fun. What's the kernel?
Everybody,
what are we trying to get to?
We are trying to break that mental health stigma. We are trying to let everybody know that it's okay, like you said right off the bat, it's okay not to be okay. A lot of people don't understand that, a mental health diagnosis is not something they ask for, and we try to get information out there for people to understand that it's just like having diabetes or cancer.
Right.
You didn't ask for it,
right.
But sometimes you got to take medications to treat it. So there's vendors out there that are actual, therapists, and they have, my mind just went blank. Talk to me. Clinicians, thank you. That's the word I was trying to think of.
I do that all the time.
But there's a lot of times these mental health issues are related to drug usage or alcoholism. Sure. So we have vendors out there that do the mental health and the alcoholism or the drug treatment. There's inpatient. There's different kinds of therapies. There's Spanish speaking. There's Korean. There's just something for everybody out there, regardless of where you are. Perfect. We need a hillbilly translator. But just everything is surrounding mental health and how each of these people can help.
It's great. How do people find out about it?
Well, they can look on our website.
Okay.
They can go to the sheriff's website and pull up the Mental Health Task Force. It's there. They can look at us on Facebook, Instagram, all sorts of social medias. It's all there. Yeah,
because that's where people, it's just meeting people where they are.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody's on social media, good or bad, that's where everybody is. And if you got to get information out, that's the way to get it done. So what are the social media handles for y'all?
So you have GwinnettCountySheriff.org. You have, Gwinnett Sheriff on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, it's at Gwinnett County Sheriff.
Correct.
Yeah. They're always posting.
Yeah, okay.
Always.
An old pro over here.
I follow all of it. Yeah. So I see it all.
What do you see most?
I just think it's the community side. Gwinnett has done a great job of getting out in front of these people and bringing them in
the community.
This all shifted like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
When we had a new change, and I'm not. This is not politics.
Yeah,
I mean, it is connected to politics, but it's what happened is a lot of them kind of banded together in this new group of sheriffs, and really all had the same, not same ideas, but they're all different in their own way. But Gwinnett just did a really good job of getting out there right out of the gate, and you're seeing it now. 5 years later, you're really starting to see the fruits of the labor. Yeah.
Well, and I think the feeling in all around Metro Atlanta is. That our law enforcement officers are there to keep our community safe. Are they perfect? No. But are they trying to be? Yes. And I think that's the thing that most people feel and recognize. Want to ask you about the Bridge the Gap 5K that's coming up. It's part of the Kibo Building Bridges initiative that we've talked about on the show before. We'll do that next here on Back Your Blue as we talk with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office Mental Health Task Force with Lieutenant Culberson and Lieutenant Hare next on Extra 106.3. Welcome back to Back Your Blue on Extra 106.3. My name is Tug Coward along with Daniel Madelon of A Second Chance Bail Bonds and A Second Chance Monitoring. Great show today with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office Mental Health Task Force. Lieutenant Culberson and our dear friend Lieutenant Hare, who's been here. I think you may be the guest that's had more appearances than anybody else. I'm telling you, we need to have like a wall of fame, and you're on it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, it's great. It is. I want to ask you about the Bridging the Gap 5K that's coming up, and I know Sheriff Taylor is really excited about this.
Yeah, so this is something new that we're doing with the community outreach team. The Sheriff's Office has traditionally done 5Ks throughout the years, and so we're kind of bringing it back, but we're focusing again. It's all about bridging the gap. It's building those connections and those relationships with the community. Sure. So it's going to be on May 31st at Rabbit Hill Park, which is in Nichole, Georgia, and it's for anybody. Bring your family, kids, adults, old, young. It doesn't matter. All the proceeds go to fund other community outreach initiatives, sure, as well as other nonprofits. So a lot of times we do end up donating to other local nonprofits that may be in need as well. So this funding doesn't do anything other than fund the community. Everything comes in, it goes right back out to support the community in some way, form, or fashion.
How do folks sign up for it?
So we're going to have a sign up QR code on all of our platforms. So, and that's GwinnettCountySheriff.org. That's right on our webpage. You can go again to @GwinnettSheriff on Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook. Pretty much everything.
All the hotspots.
And then we'll also have it posted on KiboBuildingBridges.com.
There you go.
And that's the foundation's website.
Yeah, and it's great. What about for folks who are maybe not in running shape, like, say, myself? What if I were more of a walker than a runner?
Yeah, hey, come on now. We will have medical staff out there.
Yeah, if y'all make me run, I'm probably going to need it.
But yeah, it's for if you want to walk, run, slow trot, whatever your heart is content.
Yeah.
Just come out. We'll have some vendors out there. Coca-Cola is always one of our huge sponsors for a lot of our events. So they'll be out there providing drinks and different things for the community. And we're just going to have a good time.
Daniel, can we count on you to run in this one?
You can count on me to maybe be there.
Yeah,
but running.
Not run. There's nobody running.
I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, unless there's a bear after
whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
A brisk walk.
Yeah, that's right. I'll take me a brisk walk now. But yeah, I'm not a strong runner. Never have been.
I don't think I've ever run a 5K before.
Really?
I've walked.
Okay, I did it one time. It's been a long time ago though. I don't feel like I'm in a good place right now with that running thing. But I can get after it with a walk for sure. I just know this is another effort that y'all in Gwinnett County do to get out and shake hands and meet the community and build that trust and build those bridges. To take from Sheriff Taylor's his initiative. Because that's what it's all about. Everything in life comes down to relationships, and y'all are probably the best that we've talked to about making sure to do that. And because it's imperative. It's so valuable and so important.
Right. It's our job to make sure we're being transparent and offering the best services we can to our community that we serve.
Yeah, no, it's so important. Between the 4th annual Breaking the Stigma Awareness Fair and the Bridging the Gap 5K that's coming up, I mean, how many events do y'all do a year? Because I'm
telling you right now, I'm on their Facebook page right now, and I can't even get to May because there's so many in April. So I'm looking at 6 events from April 9th to April 26th.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know any other municipality.
I can't even see May yet, and we're talking about May.
Yeah, right, but when I say y'all do it better than anybody else, it's the effort that you put in. Of course, the relationship and what comes of that effort. But I just don't know that anybody's putting in the effort.
Well, you can put on these events, and then I've been to them. They don't show up in some of these places. I'm not referring to Gwinnett, by the way.
Well, yeah, you told me.
But then I go to these, and I'm like, holy cow! Like, you can't. Like, there's so many people. So, like, I mean, they do it, and it happens. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's impressive.
Which is not like a.
Why do you think people show up so big for y'all where maybe they don't everywhere else?
Well, again, it goes down to having those relationships in the community, with the churches, with the nonprofits, with all of the various organizations and business owners.
But sponsorships, like the vendors that come out, are like, I mean, it's like insane.
Like Fortune 500 companies.
You see another. No, I mean, you got people popping out of the woodwork. I mean, they're doing haircuts. They're doing, I mean, like all kinds of stuff at these events. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's great. Something for everybody.
We can talk about wraparound services. Man, you get out there and get your haircut and do a 5K. And get you a hot dog and a Coca-Cola.
There you go.
That's wraparound service if I've ever seen it or heard about it. But that's the kind of thing that I think that's why, and you've proven over, and maybe that's it. That if you've ever been once, then you know. And, they say if things go bad, somebody will tell 10 people, and if it goes really good, they'll tell 2.
Yeah.
But it's building that block after block after block. 2 turns into 4, and then it just continues on. And people are like, no, when you go out, there's value there.
Yeah.
And there's a difference in price tag and value. And y'all have value in what you do and how you treat people. Is there anything that we left out? Is there anything we need to get into that you'd like to tell folks that y'all are doing or a part of, or just anything you'd want to tell them?
April 13th, we are partners with Andretti Indoor Karting and Games.
Love that place.
Buford location.
About the college fair on April 9th. Yeah. I got it all right here.
Right.
But we are hosting a big car show for the first time as well. at Andretti's. So
that's cool.
That'll be pretty cool. And, it's kind of a trial run for something else that we're working on for back to school.
Okay.
And again, if you just go to our Facebook, our Instagram, it has the list of everything that we do throughout the year: mental health task force, community outreach, and other programs that we do. It's all there.
I'm telling you, Lieutenant Hare's like an encyclopedia. He's got, I don't know how you remember it all. I mean,
It's a lot.
Like if it weren't written in front of me, I'd have forgotten.
I remember where they started 5 years ago, and now where it's at now.
Well,
It's wild. They've done a great job.
In the last minute that we have, talk about that though, just the evolution that you've seen and why you think it's.
Well, I've watched it grow, and like they put their money where their mouth is. I mean, the people, it's the people that work within Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office that make it happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, love Sheriff Taylor, but it's not Sheriff Taylor doing all the work. I mean, he's the leader, right? Of that. So it's the people that are there that have been incredible. It's been fun to be a part of and just be part of the solution, I guess.
No, I love it.
Which I'm all about. So
yeah, of course, because look, the last thing you want to do is earlier in the show when you talk about those bad situations that you find yourself in. With people.
I mean, it's going to happen. It happens. Of course, every week. It is. I mean, it's every other day or every few.
But
days.
if you can limit it, with working with great folks, I think it
makes it easier for sure.
Certainly does, and appreciate what y'all do. I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing that I can say is how much I appreciate it. And I know the people that live in Gwinnett County get it and understand it and appreciate it too. But it's maybe not said enough. Thank you for what you do and how you go about your business and the fact that you care about the community that you serve. I mean, for a lot of people when they, clock out here at Dickey Broadcasting Company at 5, they don't look at the email anymore. They don't answer the phone anymore. Y'all don't have that luxury. And you handle it with dignity and honor and a lot of love to y'all, a lot of respect for y'all for doing what you do. Thank you and coming back, being the Wall of Fame member. I'm telling you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
He's got to be the most, right, Melinda? He's not been on here more than anybody. I'd be willing to put my check on it. Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office Mental Health Task Force, Lieutenant Culberson and Lieutenant Hare. We wish you the best and hope to see y'all again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.